Ding, 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 ding. Hello, everyone, and welcome. So, as I put on my little hat, may all that is shared here today will be of truth and love and honesty and also vulnerability around what's real. And so, over the last couple of weeks, energetics have been super powerful, super intense. There has been a lot of refinement happening, a lot of filtering, refinements, looping back, kind of like the snake year, kind of like looping back. The old skins have shed, and kind of like we're kind of not sure what's next, but we're like ready for something else. Like there's something else happening, but we're not quite sure what it is. And timelines of possibilities and different opportunities are just like happening. And I personally, I don't know about you, I felt that there's been like breaking of the matrix, like saying something to somebody and like completely zapping them out of the reality where they were in. So I see it as each one of us has a capacity to minister to all those that we come in contact with. And beyond our relationships, romantic, family, our co-workers, there is a voice, there is a message, there is a resonance, there is an essence that permeates the field that each one of us feel drawn to, right? And as we are drawn to different energies, there is different medicine that is available to us there if we allow it to be so. And so I started looking at my life and all of my interactions with people that now come into my field as those types of relationships. And in fact, everybody's ministering to each other. It's just, do you have a conscious enough awareness to let go of the ego, to humble yourself and to see how is this person serving you through a situation that may not be of most desire, I don't know, or perhaps something that you didn't expect, but maybe you needed to experience. And so June has been a very juicy, fruitful, vibrant, energetic month. There is this like energy of sitting in the space, like cultivating presence and ease and yumminess and like refinement of self in a way. And also asking, what is next? Okay. When I went to High Vibe, what I realized during that festival, what's next for me is the pursuit of dancing and movement, and realizing how needed, how impactful movement together is. And here in Miami, there's a lot of salsa, bachata, merengue, like different types of dance. My friend Natalia has a whole studio in Delray, Sway, and they do more like, I don't know how to say it, but it's more like valse and more like official type of dancing. And it's for an older crowd. And then here in Miami, I personally took a Zouk 8-week training. I've taken a couple of bachata and salsa courses, and it's really different. There's a lot of focus on like the right steps, the right way to move. There's a lot of mental memorization, okay? And so what I enjoyed about High Vibe Festival and the culture of that event is that the dancing that is being introduced and practiced is intuitive. It's asking the individual to drop into the body, preferably like close the eye, feel the body. And as you interact with the space around you, before you even interact with another person, there is a sense of presence that lands. Like you can't be a good improv dancer if you're not fully landed in the body and like anchored through the feet. Like you can't be in the head to fully be in this practice. And so it forces us to be fully present and to dance and to not think about the steps that you have to memorize, but rather, okay, I'm feeling, where do I want to go next? And so for me, there was this excitement and passion and sense of purpose when I realized that this is a movement that spreads. And here in Miami, we already have Ecstatic Flow, which is the inspiration for that primal movement that Genergy is bringing into Miami. Actually, is from California also, and from the community of High Vibe. So I'm seeing it's like we're all just seeds, and we are being used to go and pollinate and to discover what's out there. And then we come back to our home base, and then we connect with other pollinators, and then we pollinate together. And the cool part is that each one of us has interest in different areas. And so as those of us that feel called to travel, to have the means, times, and energy to go and meet new people, to see new things, we end up bringing those back to our hometown and sharing them with our community of like-minded individuals, and we create movements that bring these ways of being, of relating, of dancing to different parts of the world. And so there is part of me that is excited and curious, and I've been sitting a little bit with that. So that's been like the fun, the excitement part. The other side of that has been the healing process of the foot. All right. The ankle injury, not the ankle, the middle foot injury still prevents me from fully walking on the leaning ball of this foot. So I'm walking, but I'm leaning mostly on my heel, or like the outer edge of the foot. The bruising has swelled down. I continue implementing hot baths with salts and scrubbing at the end of the day, and then I do my CBD cream. In fact, I want to say that the use of CBD cream, it's like 35 milligrams from this company that's here in Boca Raton, Florida, has significantly supported me through this injury healing process. I believe from the beginning, when I started using it, it allowed the inflammation to receive the containment that it needed, plus the ibuprofen that I've been taking and the icing, so that it didn't swell up. Like, the injury was very contained. I was actually really impressed with how my body handled it. So I would say a couple more weeks before I'll be up and running. And it's been a little sad because I've been wanting to like go to Genie Springs, go to the Universal. I've been wanting to go to Busch Gardens in Tampa. There's like cool people I want to see in Clearwater. And I realized like, oh, like my body's running. Like I want to keep moving and doing things, but because I have this injury, I cannot. And so the aftercare with the man with whom this injury has happened is still to be pending. And that's because there was some other things I was pending on. And yeah, also just thinking like, how do we facilitate a culture where people dance safely? And if we do get hurt with each other, how do we act and react with each other in that space? You know, in some of our conversations, the man was like, you know, it wasn't my responsibility to care for you after. I didn't agree on that. And yeah, you're right. He did not agree on that. And this is where we come as humanity and as having like divine respect, love, and care for one another. You know, if somebody gets hurt, like there's a different level of care, I think, that's present or should be present to support that individual, especially if you were there with them. So perhaps this is different philosophical perspectives. Either way, I am looking forward to having that conversation with him. So that's also been happening. So this is like a relational thing, you know, like feeling hurt, feeling unseen. It's like, you know, I want to be validated in my experience. And I feel like there's been all this pain and discomfort that has occurred that he doesn't know anything about. Like he doesn't hear these chats and knows what I'm struggling through. And on top of that, last month, you guys, like on top of all of this, my period was late last month. And so like part of me was like preparing to have a baby. I said, if I am pregnant, this will be the baby. And so there was like also a couple of days of stress and like feeling into timelines and possibilities. And also hearing that globally there are women who have double periods, missed periods, weird things happening with their bodies, like women who are on menopause started bleeding, or women that are not supposed to be bleeding are getting spotting. So interesting things globally happening. My understanding, like women, we are channels, blood flows through us. Blood purifies, detoxifies, it holds everything the body needs to make a child. And so as we release that, perhaps like our body needs to process and filter whatever it is that we're experiencing in our world. And if there is increase in toxins in our field, or increase in radiation that they pulse through the air, or increase in fluoridation and other toxic chemicals in our water, like I understand how the body and the nervous system may be running on like overload and have hard time processing information. So that's real. That's been a real thing. I really love this sticker. Touch is art. I think that's so cool. I got some of these at the Art Basel. And this one's cool. Marry me, I'm hydrated. Hydration is really important. In fact, having electrolytes in the water, really necessary. And so I took the pregnancy test. I am not pregnant. And I did get my period 5 days late this season. And so 5 days of thinking and fantasizing and imagining what would my life look like with a child. And also imagining the father who I knew who would be, and what would life with that man look like. And so there was opportunities. There was like timelines opening minute to minute to minute. And it was interesting. It was interesting to see what was important for me in that moment. And also realizing like having a baby with a man that wants a baby is very different than having like an oopsie baby. All right. And like this would have been an oopsie baby. And it's like part of my mission is to have a conscious conception and to bring a child into this world through love, through wanting, through desire, through understanding the higher purpose and the mission of this human reality. And as a portal, I am the portal through which birthing happens and the child from space comes into this material plane. I feel I need certain things in alignment before it happens. And because we live in a day where we have choice, I'm so grateful for that, and free will. It is up to each woman to build the village and her dynamics in a way that she sees fits for the highest and bestest well-being for her offsprings. And so this is where a lot of women are these days. And I'm really enjoying seeing how more and more women are having later babies, like into their late 30s, early 40s. And in fact, the study that I read that gave me really good feeling is that women that have children later in their lifetime have higher level of satisfaction and fulfillment. And I reflected on that and I realized like, no shit, having a baby, even right now, I'm 35, maturity level, security level, career stability, like healthy family dynamics, community and friendships, like everything is like, it's kind of like the foundation has been set up, rather than people who have children earlier on, they're forced to figure it out and to hustle and bustle or struggle. And so I think when we have children older, we avoid the struggle because we prepare for it and we get ready for it. And we also get our bodies ready. Like my partner and I, first of all, he's been on like mangoes and smoothies. Like this man's body and level of purification is so attractive. This is something I discovered, like what really attracts me to a man is like how clean and pure and healthy I sense him, how he looks. Like, I can look at a man and everything I need to know about what's going on internally in your gut, in your limbs, in your blood, in your everywhere. Like, I can see it. And so many people are unwell, especially older generation. Men right now, like 40 over, are not looking that great. Okay, a lot of my clients are like older, and some of them are okay, but in comparison to what my lover looks like in his 40s, some of these men are looking very old. And number one reflection of men's health, of quality of health, is the condition of his skin. Like, some men have really thick and burnt out and like just stressed looked skin, and some men are like glowing and radiant and peachy like. Right? That's number one. And then like the quality of your nails, the quality of like your posture, obviously your gut. Like, there is something about health is beauty. When somebody is healthy, they're beautiful. They're naturally in alignment, right? They're like radiant. Their skin is clear. They look well. They're hydrated, like hair is glowing. Like, there is aspects of what we see as somebody who's healthy and well, and that's not something we can hide, you know, or avoid. And so I see the future where we each embody our avatar, our sim body, as I call it. I used to play Sims, and I loved creating the family. It was usually like a woman and a man, and then eventually they would have the baby. And you could pick the hair, the size, the legs, the outfits, you know, the whole shebang. And how I used to play it, I used to do the cheat code, make the money, and then I would just build beautiful mansion. And much of my gaming was into building the mansion than really playing the game. But if they were playing the game, there was always partying, lovemaking, and then the whole baby timeline. So, and then also I really liked working on their skills and getting all of their different traits and skill points. So now here we are. This is basically a sim, right? So to wake up in the game, okay, yeah, how do we make $1 million? Like, that's something I'm still figuring out. However, there are some people who have figured the money machine out. So once you figure out the money machine, then what? Then what are we doing? And so, yeah, the timelines of motherhood and being in parenthood with this man, that was part of my June. And then comes July, we have this phenomenal celebration on the water, right next to the fireworks, with just a few hand select, the best people. And I reflected on refinement and how over the years my life has refined who's around me to a level where I am able to maintain truly divine, harmonious, loving, satisfying relationships. And focusing on what else can we do to celebrate each other, celebrate life, have fun together. Like, not always like, what are we building? What are we creating? Because that's a lot of doing. I'm interested now in people that want to play, that want to dance, that want to exchange body work. Like, I'm interested in perhaps a man who wants to have a baby with me. Like, let's talk about different timelines. Because right now, it's like a new opportunity has opened up. You know, if I'm not having a baby, if my career is already set, if I have my friendships and community, what's next? What's next? And that is something that I get to answer. Perhaps you also get to answer, because what's next for you? We're moving into the July 26th, I believe, is the Mayan New Year. And we're also going into the Lion's Gate portal. So this is fire, this is Leo, this is leadership, this is the whole galactic, Sirius, all the planetary things, like, they line up. So where are we going? I don't know, you guys, but I'm excited. And one thing I will say, be flexible. Be flexible and watch watch your triggers and talk to your triggers. Like, observe what triggers you and talk to that. Talk it through. And so healing happens like this. It happens with a choice to let something go, to forgive, to not say something, to apologize, to take the step, to lean against the edge just a little more. But it starts with that. Okay? Land that. And so, yeah, there is another chance at life. There is another chance at conscious co-creation. There is another lesson also. There's another lesson. This pregnancy scare was a big lesson for me and the man who's involved. And there's an aftercare conversation coming for that as well. And I want to talk more about conscious sexuality and consent conversations and the responsibility of sex as an act. Because recently I've been rethinking my teachings, and I've been thinking, like, if I'm truly in alignment with like having the spread the love conversation and making it so accessible to everyone, and does it really solve the challenges of our society, right? And so thinking about the purpose, like, we're having children, why are we bringing children into this world? And so I think if we align on the vision of what does the village look like, because right now most people don't even have a village. Women are raising children alone with working husbands, or worse, no husbands, as a single mother, right? So if I have a choice, how would I want to raise my children, and who would be in my village? And I want people in the village who are passionate about things that I'm passionate about. I want somebody healthy, sexy, creative, embodied, and sovereign. I want somebody who lives the lifestyle of not being medicated, fluoridated, like zombied out on vaccines. Somebody who understands health, somebody who wants to live a healthy lifestyle. Like, these people exist, and I think we're all understanding how rare we are now. We are rare, especially those of us who have not been jabbed. And so there's golden nuggets in seeing what you value around people you surround yourself with. So yeah, that feels good for now. Amazing season. Overall, like, sometimes I have this desire to leave Florida in the summertime, and every summer I don't. I stay here, and there's usually like little trips here and there, but it's almost like energetically I need to be here for the July, for the portal energy. And so anchoring intentions, weaving in new possibilities, questioning the collective. What is it that you want? What do you want the future to look like? More of us need to start getting creative with our desires, with our visualization. The veil is thin. It's thinning now too. So put on your hats, throw away your microwave, detox from metals, plastics, parasites. I will say that this whole detox field is a little bit marketed out. Like, the types of parasites that they advertise, like, people don't have. And a lot of what they pull is like guttural tissue. But if you have bloating, if you have fatigue, if you have weird symbols, yes, check it out. I say saunas, sweating it out is really good. But if you sauna, you need a lot of healthy salt. A lot of people are very deficient in things like sodium and iodine and magnesium and potassium. So, like, trace minerals. There was a story I read, and they said that people who get stranded in the ocean, like people that drink the ocean water, sip on it, survive over the people who don't drink the water. So you need minerals to sustain your existence. And right now they're sucking the minerals out of food, water, everything. Everything is depleted. Everything is toxic. Like sometimes I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here? We have to survive. Not only is planet Earth the only, I don't freaking know. Not only is Earth making us pay and work to exist on this planet, like, ew, what kind of slavery is that? So not only do we have to pay for food, for shelter, pay freaking taxes, and be controlled by weirdos, but also, like, energetically, we are stranded on here. Like, you can't exit. And I believe there is no space. I believe in the firmament. Like, we ain't going nowhere. The only way out is suicide. Or you just have a natural death, which a lot of people die from bad health conditions. Okay? And so it's a really weird planet to be on. Okay? And I'm just trying to exist. But I'm also trying to make it fun and adventurous, and to remind people that you need to speak your life into existence with intention. I want to follow the path of ease, love, and grace. Ease, love, and grace. I have more than enough. The money I spend comes back to me. All that which I need and desire is available to me in every single moment. Like, you need to be so affirmative all the time in your mind until it's automatic, until you live the life you want. Okay? I say it because I did it. Okay? So that's my ministry for tonight. The sun is going down. I'm almost finishing the bleed. So grateful, actually. So grateful to get my bleed and to feel woman. Like, I am woman. Womb. And I birth life into this world. I have the gifts and the capacity to bring spirit into matter. Mother. Through the mother I am. And for that, I am fucking grateful. And so thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in for my latest updates. I hope that all is well. Let me know, how was your June? Did anything happen that shifted your timelines?